While the world is focusing on the race between BYD and Tesla to become the world's leading vehicle manufacturer, and I'm talking period, we're forgetting what's about to happen. That is, these two car companies are actually really teaming up to take the axe to Toyota. In 2023, it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. In 2024, it's going to be more like a massacre. BYD and Tesla have one big advantage over Toyota that no one in the mainstream media would ever alert you to. Why? Well, you can put the dots together and work that out, but that is a significant factor that will be a kind of a chain around the neck of Toyota. BYD and Tesla both have very, very little debt. They could both pay it off in the space of 24 hours if they wanted to. It's that small. Toyota, on the other hand, is the most indebted company in the world. Now, while it actually does make more profit than any other car company in the world, that's about to change very soon. The media are saying that BYD is poised to overtake Tesla in electric vehicle sales. I think the more important point here to look at would be the fact that Tesla is actually going to overtake Toyota in profit next year. In fact, it's pretty much a done deal. Now, will BYD overtake Tesla in that same year? It could when it comes to electric vehicle sales. That's possible. But it has several years to go before it gets anywhere near Tesla's actual profit. Let's have a look at the numbers. Let's have a look at what BYD and Tesla pretty much together are going to do to the world's most profitable car company, Toyota, in 2023. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have all the new subscribers come on board recently. And I'm going to say a big shout out to our Patreon supporters and our YouTube members. Thank you for doing what you do. Now, right now, we don't actually know the overall sales figures for Tesla this year with electric cars because Tesla doesn't report their sales every single month. It's likely, according to analysts and all the numbers we know are coming out of Germany, the new US Gigafactory in Texas, California in Fremont, and also, of course, in China, that Tesla will hit 1.4 million deliveries this year. That's a pretty likely number. BYD are now at nearly 800,000 year to date. That's from January through to the end of November. In November, BYD actually delivered 230,000 vehicles. That's a combination of plug-in hybrids and electric cars. About 50-50. About 50% of those were EVs. About 50% were plug-in hybrids. But 230,000 in a single month is amazing. And they've now started to export a significant number of cars outside of China. That's pretty important for their global growth. The incredible part about this is that in the same month, 2 years ago, BYD sold less than 20,000 electric cars. Less than 20,000 in the same month 2 years ago. In November of this year, that figure hit 114,000. That's an incredible increase. BYD says it wants to deliver 2 million electric cars next year. Could that mean it would beat Tesla? Well, if BYD does deliver around 2 million next year, which is very possible, they have a lot of models. They're ramping up production of batteries very quickly, ramping up actual car production facilities quickly. They do plan on building new factories in Europe, but obviously those won't come online next year, probably for the following year. But they also did just open an electric car factory in India that no one seems to have ever noticed or be talking about. All that's going to matter. Remember, BYD's most of electric cars are relatively affordable. They do sell some that are more expensive. They've got their new premium brand coming. Those vehicles don't really matter. What is going to be important for BYD's global electric car sales and in China are sales of the more affordable cars. The BYD Seal, their new electric car. The BYD Dolphin, which is becoming one of their best-selling cars. That's a hatch which is similar size to a Corolla. And if you think about it, if BYD can continue to ramp up at the levels they are, then I would say it's likely they'll hit around 1.7 million electric vehicle sales next year. Tesla, well, they could be doing somewhere between 1.6 and 2 million. It really depends on what happens with a number of different projects they're working on, including the cheaper, more affordable Tesla Model 2, which might take till 2024 to come to market, the Cybertruck, which is probably not going to come out to the end of 2023. So Tesla will be mostly relying on Model 3 and Model Y sales next year. Really only two models for the bulk of their deliveries in that year. 2024 will be an entirely different year, but 2023, it will be a close race between Tesla and BYD. Now, of course, Tesla make a lot more profit than BYD. It's not even comparable, but it is comparable to Toyota. Analysts are now predicting that Tesla's operating profit will surpass global leader Toyota's, which would represent another industry-wide disruption from the US automaker. Think about this, right? There's a good chance Toyota are going to help them. Why? Well, because Toyota barely makes any EVs, and automakers have to pay Tesla credits for the pollution from their cars. If your fleet average CO2 emissions aren't below a certain number, you've got to basically buy credits from another automaker or you pay massive fines. Tesla next year will probably make around $1.5 billion US dollars from automakers paying them for some of their carbon credits. That's one way Tesla actually makes free money from other automakers that they're directly competing with, which is kind of ironic, right? I made a video about that and those numbers. In fact, I'll put a link in the description below to that video. Right now, Toyota has a higher operating profit than any other auto company, and the Japanese automaker is expected to earn $20 billion in operating profit in 2022, according to Barron's. Comparatively, though, many Wall Street estimates say Tesla's operating profit will be approximately $22.6 billion next year, which would likely be enough to surpass Toyota, especially if electric vehicle trends continue upwards. Now, in the third quarter of this year, I'm sure you're aware, Tesla made around 8 times more money in profit than Toyota made. That's just a ridiculous number. Now, although Toyota actually outsold Tesla approximately 7-1, Tesla made $3.3 billion in net profit in the July to September quarter, compared with Toyota's $3.15 billion, which is $434.2 billion in profit for Toyota, meaning Tesla earned 8 times as much profit per vehicle as Toyota. But those numbers are extremely misleading. Why are they misleading? You probably think, oh, this is some sort of number that's been just made up to make Tesla look good. Actually, it's not. It's made up to make Toyota look good. The reason being, because of the enormous deflation of the yen and the increase in value in US dollars, that's added literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to Toyota's bottom line. That's a short-term gain. That won't last forever, of course. It's expected those numbers will revert to some sort of likely mean average next year, meaning that short-term windfall in profits that Japan has received as a result of the deflation of the yen will no longer be in place next year, and therefore it's likely Tesla's gross profit would increase versus Toyota's. Now remember, one of the key benefits Tesla has is that the majority of the cars they sell now worldwide are actually equipped with lithium iron phosphate batteries. So are BYD's batteries. They make their own batteries. But BYD have one other advantage that many people are not aware of. They're about to manufacture sodium-ion batteries. Reports are saying BYD actually even intend to use them for both energy storage and for some electric cars next year. CATL said last year that using sodium-ion batteries would eventually save them approximately 30% in the cost of manufacturing batteries. And that figure might have increased if you consider the fact that when CATL made those comments, the cost of lithium was about 70% lower than what it's at today. So that's going to give BYD an advantage in the long term. Now, getting back to Toyota, they are way behind with EVs. They just haven't taken them seriously. And now the latest issues with their BZ4X have really set them back a fair way. They've admitted as much. The Japanese car manufacturer's profits actually shrank in the third quarter due to a host of factors, including increased material and electricity costs for its suppliers. These added costs pushed down quarterly operating profit by some 450 billion yen. Toyota also booked a one-time expense of 663 million after shutting down production in Russia. So it's true that while Toyota was trailing Tesla on net profit, it came out ahead in operating profit, returning 4.1 billion compared to Tesla's 3.7 billion. But two things are happening right now, or at least one thing is happening in two different markets that Toyota is very dependent upon. Toyota's biggest car market for itself in the world, where it makes the most money, is the United States. Second to the US is China. Now, in the month of November, 35% of all cars sold were electric in China. Of course, in the United States, electric cars are massively gaining in popularity. Toyota doesn't manufacture any EVs in the US. Therefore, their EVs, if they do make many and send them to the US, won't qualify for the $7,500 tax credits. China, Toyota have the same problem. They don't really make any EVs in China. They make a very small number, and the EVs that are made are not made by them. They're made by FAW. And they, of course, use BYD's electric skateboard. So BYD essentially makes a profit on every Toyota EV sold in China. That means trends. The trends are moving away from the old vehicle to the new vehicle. Now, obviously, it didn't take all that long before Nokia lost a huge amount of market share. Remember when Ericsson, Nokia, and BlackBerry were the three biggest players in the mobile phone market? How long will it take for Toyota? How long will it take before we think of Toyota in the same way? I don't think it's going to take very long. To be fair, Toyota have known this was coming for a long time, but it didn't prepare for EVs. In fact, it viscerally fought them. It lobbied governments all around the world to actually stop the production and support for EVs. It even did it in Japan to its government and even to school children, where it let marketing out where it published marketing that disparaged electric cars. Well, there's not much they can do in China and the US and in Europe, which is also a very important market for Toyota. All of those three areas, the three biggest car markets in the world, are now adopting EVs at an incredibly quick rate, and clearly Toyota's not prepared for that. Now, while it is true that BYD and Tesla will have a really close tussle next year, electric vehicle deliveries will be very similar for both car companies. Probably Tesla will just win that race, but obviously BYD will win the overall vehicle sales race because they also make a lot of plug-in hybrids as well. But what matters the most, in my view, is not that race. Both of those car companies are doing incredibly well. They're the only two car companies in the world making a profit on electric vehicle sales. Toyota, on the other hand, they're in my view, the problem child. They're holding back the industry from going electric. And I'm enjoying seeing BYD and Tesla start to make a dent in Toyota's sales. That dent in 2023 will be even bigger. What are your thoughts on that? What do you reckon? How long do you think it'll take before Toyota becomes the next Nokia? Now, I predict that's what's going to happen, but, maybe you disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.